Hey guys, it's Tia. Welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be talking about niches that have sold for me personally on Redbubble and still make me sales like this. I'll also be explaining what they have in common that I think makes them sell well. Now, in my opinion, niche and keyword research is the most important factor as to whether you will make money with these types of print-on-demand marketplaces. It comes above being amazing graphic designer or SEO hacks or anything like that. If you're going to get one thing right when it comes to print on demand, you'd hope that it's choosing your niche. Now, I've already shown you how I actually find my niches in the niche research tutorial step by step. So you can go and watch that after this one. But I'll be giving examples and a more in-depth explanation of how I choose niches in this video. Now, if you want to see how I built 9 Redbubble shops from scratch that make me passive income every day, as well as how much I earned in my first year and exactly how I find keywords that sell with proof, then check out my Redbubble playlist in the description, which includes that video I just mentioned. I'll also be doing a quick Q&A at the end as promised last time. Obviously, I've said this before, but I won't be leaking my entire business on YouTube, so that's any of my shops, my designs, or my exact keywords, because then a bunch of people would see the video and go and copy those designs and keywords. But hopefully this video can give you an idea of the things that sell for me. And I've noticed that there is a pretty clear distinction between what actually sells versus what people think will sell. And here I'll be giving you a mental 4-point checklist I use every time before uploading any design to see if a text-based design, which are usually the easiest types of designs to make, has a high chance of selling. So to start off, I'll be answering one of the most common questions I get, which is, do I design for trending or evergreen niches? And the answer is, I only make designs for trending keywords with high search volume and low competition. Now, again, I explain how I find these in my niche research tutorial, but essentially you just use free tools that give you a list and you sort by lowest competition, you start designing there. That is exactly what I do, but that doesn't mean a design can't have a trending keyword and also be in an evergreen niche. Now, as an example, in my tutorial, I found the phrase oncology nurse boo crew, which was trending at the time. Now, that is a Halloween related phrase, so it's seasonal and it's also targeted at oncology nurses, which just means nurses that work in cancer treatment. So that is an evergreen niche itself. So they're not mutually exclusive, like it's not black and white, evergreen versus trending, pick one or the other, you know. Now, some of the designs I make don't fall into this category. So for example, if there's a trending phrase or a meme that just spikes in popularity and then decreases in general over time, which you can check using Google Trends, that's fine, because those random things that go viral, a lot of them, they never completely die. For example, there's people that still use the word boomer in 2022. I made a design on Redbubble that went semi-viral last year to the point where I got 20 sales in a day. And even though it doesn't do that well now, I still get the odd sale from that design on like a weekly basis because people remember that trend existed. Now, hopefully you can see that if you catch enough of these random trends, then over time you can build up background sales, because search engines favor designs that have sold a lot before in the ranks. So that's why trying to catch trends is a faster way of making sales, but it's not necessarily unsustainable, as many people would tell you. And it's definitely better than going for typical evergreen niches, like unicorns and cats and dogs that are too competitive nowadays. So another point is a really common thing you see people doing, which is cross-niching or sub-niching random evergreen niches. So for example, vegetarians that like snowboarding or coffee lovers who have Labradors. Now, I get the reasoning behind this. It's to like narrow down your audience and make them think, oh wow, that's 2 or 3 things I love in the same shirt design. I have to buy this. Now, the problem here is that unless you're using Facebook ads to laser target certain groups of people with these interests, the likelihood of a vegetarian that likes snowboarding just stumbling across your shirt design isn't that high, especially if you just make stuff up off the top of your head like I did there. Now, there's so many reasons not to use Facebook ads with Redbubble, but I won't get into that here. But the way this sub-niching method does work is when you sub-niche a trending keyword with an evergreen niche. So for example, the data showed that people were typing in this exact phrase, oncology nurse boo crew, last year into Google and Redbubble. It didn't have much competition, I'm not really sure why it was a popular phrase on social media. It was just an inside joke between nurses, maybe, or the medical community last Halloween. Maybe if you Google it, you'll see the origins of the phrase. But if you make a design with that phrase, then people are much more likely to at least see it because it's a popular search term. Now, you might make some sales, boost the search ranks, and now you've just got yourself a design which ranks highly in an evergreen niche as well. So that's just my logic on why I pick the niches I choose. So now we've established that I only exclusively design for trending keywords, which sometimes may or may not cross over into evergreen niches. I have definitely noticed a pattern as to which of these evergreen niches sell better than others. Now also keep in mind, only about 10% of the designs I upload ever make a sale, so even though I design in exclusively trending keywords, it really is a trial and error process. You're just going to have to test a bunch of things out before you see what works. So my 4-point checklist for deciding on whether to design for a keyword on Redbubble is as follows. Number 1, is this keyword trending on Redbubble or has high search volume? So you can find these keywords using tools like Bubble Scout, Bubble Trends, Bubble Spider. You can watch my video in the playlist for a step-by-step tutorial. Number 2, does this keyword have low competition? So less than 1,000 designs for the main keyword, less than 300 is optimal. Number 3, is this keyword not trademarked? Now these 3 conditions are pretty much sufficient if you want to get sales, but I'm going to add in another criteria on top of this one, which we're going to cover in this video, and that is this topic viral on the internet? As I said, you can check this with Google Trends or social media, and I'll be giving you examples of niches that satisfy these criteria in a minute. So if you make a lot of designs in niches which hit these 4 points, you'll watch the traffic start to come in, and hopefully you'll eventually start to see sales. And then you can hone in on the designs and the keywords that get more attention and make more of those. So with these 4 criteria in mind, I'll be giving you 6 niches or keyword groups, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Not really sure where the definition of niche lies strictly, but just like general topics that actually sell for me. Before you go and design 100 things in each of these niches, just stop and think about what they have in common. Also watch till the end because there's more important stuff coming later on, but for now, just see if you can come up with 3 things that these niches have in common, which might help them to sell well. So niche number 1 is politics. Number 2, veganism. Number 3, NFTs and crypto. Number 4, word I can't say on YouTube, but you'll know what that is. And number 5, TikTok memes. Number 6, Urban Dictionary phrases. Now, if you don't know what any of these things are, just Google it, because I'm not about to spend the entire video explaining the blockchain. But there are 3 things, in my opinion, that make these perfect print-on-demand niches. Number 1, it's easy to come up with text-based designs and catchy phrases around these which are not trademarked. Number 2, these niches have very passionate and sometimes like polarized communities around them. And number 3, the most important point of all, in my opinion, is that they are trending on the internet. And it makes sense that these things sell because that's how people find print-on-demand products, isn't it? Through the internet. So in your research, if you happen to see a trending low competition keyword that crosses over into one of these 6 topics, I would definitely suggest you design something for that. I'd go as far as to say that I would feel comfortable making an entire shop, a niche store dedicated to any single one of these niches alone. Maybe except number 4, that's just a bit silly, isn't it? Now, these aren't all the niches that I'm selling in, just 6 examples, but hopefully that gives you an idea of what sells. Now, how do I find these sorts of niches in the first place? Well, that's going back to our keyword research and testing. So I find trending keywords, I make designs for them, and over time I get sales and notice that certain niches sell better than others, so I make more designs in those niches. It's like when someone asked me how I target the Australian market because they noticed that a lot of my sales were coming from Australia. The answer is I don't. I didn't know Redbubble was an Australian company until I started selling well in that one niche. I did keyword research and just happened to design something that was related to Australia, and then it popped off. So now you guys know that Australian stuff sells well as well. So evergreen niche number 7 right there. Now, a really good way to design something that will sell, other than sorting by best-selling design and then trying to design something better, which is usually what I do, is to actually take some time to research these communities and find out all the inside jokes and memes and trends in those niches, and then design something that you would like from the perspective of someone in that community. Now, something I hear and read a lot when it comes to print-on-demand advice is design stuff you would wear yourself, or ask your family members whether they would buy your design, which, to be honest, makes no sense to me because I'm not going to buy a vegan shirt, neither is my family, because we're not vegan. Now, to be fair, maybe when people tell you this, their point is more about like basic design, so don't design something that's really ugly or with a white image background, but I think most people know that by now. My point is that you've got to think from the perspective of a customer in that niche, so you've got to be looking at examples of the best sellers on Redbubble and other marketplaces like Etsy and Amazon to get an idea of what sells well in that niche, and just design it better. Now, just because you're not someone who belongs to a certain community doesn't mean you can't make a design for those people. There's no rule saying you can't make a trendy vegan design if you're not vegan yourself. Again, it's about taking the time to understand why people in that community think the way they do. I mean, if something is trending but it's against your personal or political beliefs, then obviously don't make a design in that niche. But we're talking about just general niches that you're doing research on. Now, the one niche or product type, I guess, I haven't talked about yet, which also gets me sales and pretty good profits, is custom products. This isn't really applicable to Redbubble, I think, but you could consider working this into your store, for example, advertising that you make people custom designs, because people can still send you bubble mail requests. It's just an idea. I do custom products on Etsy and Shopify, but I don't do this personally on Redbubble. I don't even check my bubble mail, to be honest, but don't worry about this too much. It's just an idea. So that's pretty much all I have to say on niches. Hopefully that gave you an idea of what kind of stuff actually sells. Now it's time for a quick Q&A from my last video. Sorry guys, I haven't looked at the comments in a while. So I've answered the niches question, hopefully. Selling versus not selling. So on average, it's about 10% of designs I upload ever make a sale. So if I upload 10 things, on average, about one of those things will even ever sell. How to get consistent sales. So I assume you've already made a sale, so just keep up what you were doing before, but repeat it loads of times, and there you go. You make reasonably good designs with trending keywords, low competition. Try to make them better than the best-selling designs for that keyword, and then you just have to upload more. How I plan my day, there's no real secret to it, I think, at least for me. I mean, I just sort of write down a list of stuff I need to get done. I number them in priority order, and I just do it. So it's probably best not to overcomplicate stuff. Just do it. If you feel like procrastinating, make some print-on-demand designs. This question has been answered. I've answered this as well at the beginning. Increasing margins to increase sales. Not necessarily. I would suggest to keep it at 20 for now if you haven't made sales. And if sales start coming, then you can increase the margin slightly. But there's really no reason to go below 20%. And for stickers, I'd recommend much higher than 100% actually. You can go watch my video, which is in the playlist, about profit margins if you want to see what I do and what I would recommend. So I've answered this as well, but essentially you're saying you have 50 uploads, no sales, and now you're telling everyone that it's getting sales is impossible. Well, let's just put it this way. It took me 200-ish uploads to make my first sale, and there's no marketing you need to do. I haven't done any marketing. That just defeats the purpose, in my opinion, because Redbubble is a search engine itself and actually pays for ads on your behalf. And you know what? I actually drive traffic from Redbubble to my own website, so my own store. Like, Redbubble is the marketing. And if you're going to put in effort into marketing and social media or like paid ads, don't funnel people to Redbubble. Bring them to your own website so you can actually get a loyal customer base and own your customers. You can collect their email addresses, SMS, and sell them stuff on the back end instead of trying to just like funneling more traffic to other people's marketplaces. Okay, so thanks for watching, guys. That's it for this video. Like and subscribe, socials and discount codes down below, and I'll see you in the next video.